All right, let's talk about how to record your speeches. It's online class. You have to record your speeches and turn them in. And you may use a smartphone, a tablet. If you have a video camera, use it. Um, you just got to be able to download it to your computer. Some of those old video cameras, it's really difficult. One that uses an SD card or has a cable that's made to go into computer will work just fine. I also recommend a tripod. You can buy them for about 20 bucks. Here's an example of a tripod with a mount for a smartphone. And here's an example of a tabletop mount. Now, I'll show you in a few minutes that the world is your uh, tripod. You can set your camera anywhere, your phone anywhere. You just want to make sure that it's straight and you get a straight shot. And I'll show you how I did that in my office. Also, you want to beware of lighting. You need to make sure that there aren't any bright lights in the background. Like here, I've got this light, and when it's on, it's kind of washed out. So I turn it off whenever I'm recording in here, when I remember to. Also, shoot horizontally. Here is my ancient camera. Dismiss. Let me put it on video. So you can see it's not doing it. I want you to shoot this way. The screen doesn't look good, does it? There you go. So I bought this at Walmart for $7. Again, shoot horizontally, the horizon. I bought this for like $7 at Walmart. You need a tripod to mount it on, but it's a cool thing. I have a tripod, so that's why I didn't buy a tripod to go with it. So when I'm shooting, it I can put it on a tripod. It'll screw right on. Okay. And those don't cost very much. Once the speech begins, the camera shot should remain still. I don't want you to edit it. It's a live speech. I want you to act like you're in front of a live crowd, making eye contact with the camera, which I wasn't doing a moment ago. I just realized. And, you know, pretend that you're in front of a group. And it should be wide enough so that I can see you and any visual aids that you have. Now, the first speech, you don't have to have visual aids. But when you do the informative speech and the persuasive speech, you have to have visual aids, a PowerPoint. And I'll show you how to do that in another video. I am going to show you how to set it up in just a moment. Well, matter of fact, let's do that right now. If you'll notice, my little yellow guy here is standing next to a television set. His computer is sitting on the table there next to his TV, and there's a poorly drawn HDMI cable. If I actually found an HDMI cable that was big enough to put there, it'd be so small you couldn't see it. So pretend that is a cable connecting the computer to the TV set. And almost all modern TVs have HDMI connections, so you shouldn't have any trouble doing that, connecting it to your computer. Don't be panning and zooming. You want that's just a shot, and I want to see most of your body from your head down to your chest, your stomach, somewhere there. That way, I can see your body movement, your physical gestures, your facial expressions, your body language. That's part of making a speech. Try not to have any background noise. I am actually re-recording this from my first version because I had this fan on and there was a lot of background noise. There's still going to be some because the audio from my iPhone is not as good as this because I happen to have the luxury of a nice mic. But try to minimize the background noise as best you can. Make sure recording when nobody, if you got a little brother, little sister, make sure they're somewhere else. Um, do do do. What else was I going to say on this piece of paper? Don't do what I'm doing right now. Do not read your speech from your outline. Try to have it not memorized, but know it well enough that you'll talk to us, that you won't read it to us. And don't read your speech from the computer screen like a teleprompter. So don't have your computer screen across from you like a teleprompter. I don't want you doing that. I want you to learn how to give a public speech with basic basic outline. As we say in the lessons already, your outline, your speaking outline should just be an outline with key phrases, short sentences. I don't want you reading from a script. Definitely from no handwritten scripts. All right, but you can use note cards. A few note cards, and the assignments will tell you about that. All right, here are some examples of bad shots with cameras. We don't want this. See this guy? He's all washed out because he's standing in front of that window. And there's not much light in the room. So that's not good. I can't see him. The second one here, this young lady is actually standing on a spot here on the campus of Tri-County Technical College of Pendleton. That might have gotten torn down now. So we've done some construction. But notice something. She has no head. This third one, well, she's in a very dark room. Make sure you got good lighting. The biggest problem with lighting for my students has been it's too dark. So if you've got a dimmer on your light, use that. Get the light just right. That's what I've done in this room. I've got a dimmer in here. It seems a little weird around me, but it looks pretty good on the screen. Here's another one, another example. This guy who's some kind of medical professional. Notice this first shot is shot vertically. We don't want that. Shoot it this way, horizontally. All right. Now let me show you some shots that I took with my ancient phone. All right, I'm now using my ancient smartphone to record video. If I were giving a speech, I would have my script in one hand. Excuse me, it's not a script. Not a script, not a script. Outline. Outline in one hand. And this is without a presentation at the moment. And that way I can glance at my notes to make sure I am where I need to be. I'm going to make eye contact with the audience. There might be a little too much overhead space here, so I'm going to move up a little bit. You don't want too much space. There's something called the rule of thirds, where if you're a little bit off to the side, one way or the other, it's actually good. Now, this shot's not that great because I have this door behind me with this white light. As I said earlier, don't shoot in front of blinds or windows. So it's not too bad in here, but it's going to be bad if it's a sunny day and that were an outside window. Also, you notice right off the bat, the audio is not as good as it was at my desk because I'm using a much nicer mic. I'm using the mic that's in my phone. So you need to have it close enough to you to where you can be picked up. Make sure there's nothing blocking the mics, in the way of the mics. Different devices have them in different places. Some of them have them all over, more than one mic. Um, you want to make sure that you speak loud enough where they can hear it across the room. So right now, this phone is sitting on a shelf, leaned up against a book. I got a nice straight shot. It's a good shot. Behind me ain't that great. So let me show you another way to do that. That might be a little better. All right, here I am again using my ancient camera to shoot my video. And this is fine. I'm actually using an antique clock. I've got an antique clock in my office, and I've got my phone set up on it, leaned against the wall, and I have a nice straight shot. Remember, I always want to see you at least from about your chest up. I want to be able to see hand gestures. I'd rather see more of you so I can see your movements and your hand gestures and your facial expressions. Okay, because that's part of the speech, and you'll be graded on that. Here I have my outline. I can talk to you and just make quick glances and have good eye contact. So there's a couple of ways. The world is your tripod. If you want to buy a tripod, you can set your phone up in a way to get a straight shot. Make sure you've got plenty of light, lots of light. You don't want it to be dark. Make sure you don't have windows and blinds behind you. Make sure there's not some lamp in the background that's too bright, like that one. And you can shoot good video. And remember to watch it again after you shoot it. All right, that's the basics of how to shoot your video. Make sure that your camera is straight. Make sure that you've got a good shot. Make sure that most of your physical body is in the shot. When we get to presentations, you're going to need to make it so that I can see the presentation and you. I'll do a video on that later. Basically, I want to be able to see you and your body language, your physical gestures, your facial expressions. And again, do not read a script to us. Talk to me. All right. See you later.